Our lives will be better soon, you'll see, if you break some bread with me. When our two worlds collide, it's so easy to take sides. So we're trying to find a better way by baking bread today.
So, I'll carry on here, and while I'm rubbing the butter in, I'll be chatting to my first guest, Patricia McCarthy. And the great Danny Meehan, the Donegal fiddler, he once described Patricia. He said, she has a lovely, homely way with her. Patricia, will you come up here now? She's a little bit shy tonight, but you're among friends, Patricia. The reason I invited Patricia to join me tonight, well, there's a few reasons, because I like her. I heard Patricia sing, it's how many years ago, Patricia?
God, I don't remember how many Josephine, how many is it? Maybe.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a lot of years ago. I heard her sing the first time up in my favourite pub, the Glen Tavern. Now, I don't drink, I give that up as a bad job. And believe me, the world's a safer place since I stopped drinking. But yes, I heard Patricia sing, and over the years we've kind of slowly got to know each other. We were chatting one day, and Patricia told me how, while they didn't have many Protestant neighbours, the ones they did have, they worked together and got on well together, you know. So, anyway, you grew up, and there was what, you had 9 brothers and 9 sisters?
No, I had 5 sisters and 2 brothers.
2 brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was 8 of us.
Yeah, yeah. And come here, they were all musical?
Well, they were really all musical, but Daddy played the fiddle and also sang, and my mother sang.
Yeah.
And
one of your, was it your sister danced?
Kathleen danced.
Kathleen danced.
Yeah. And my sister Angela played the piano, and that's how we had enjoyment those times. We'd all get together in the evenings, and she'd play, and we'd all...
Keeling, or breaking as we call it here in Donegal.
Daddy would play and we'd sing. And
but it was by the fireside long ago that
what we done.
The gatherings happened.
Yeah.
You know, after a day's work, it was round the fireside that the lies were told.
That's it.
And the catching up, and the Packy Manas he used to tell with all the lies he told her.
Packy Manas Byrne.
Yes, you knew him, did you?
Yeah, he sang, didn't he?
Oh, great singer, great whistler as well.
Yeah.
But come here, when you were 6 years of age, can I tell the wee story? And you,
well, I don't know if you should tell it all or not.
No, she was strongly told not to go near the shed. They were doing a bit of work on the roof. What did Patricia do?
The shed.
She climbed up onto the roof and fell off it. And as a result, spent 2 years, the guts of 2 years in hospital. But while she was in hospital, she entertained with her voice. One of the songs you used to sing.
This was when I was in Dublin. I was in Dublin for 9 months, and I was in Piedmont Hospital. So I used to, of course, sing for them all. And there's just one song I always remember that I came home singing that song.
The Horseshoe by the Door.
Horseshoe or the Door.
Give us a lash of it there.
I might be able to sing now, darling.
You'll be fine.
I'm a true-born Irishman, and they call me Thomas Dunn. I was born and reared in Ireland, you must know. But soon I'm going back just to visit that old shack. It's the cottage with the horseshoe over the door. Now my father he is dead, and he lies beneath the sod, and my poor old mother she lies weeping there. May the holy angels shine round that little home of mine. It's the cottage with the horseshoe o'er the door. I'm as happy as can be, I'm as happy as can be, but it's sometimes that my poor heart does feel sore. When I think of days that's been round that little Isle of Green, it's the cottage with the horseshoe o'er the door.
Patricia, you were telling me that one of the antics that used to work, not antics, but what's the word? Activities that used to go on in the house. Your sister used to dance on a board.
Yeah, Dad used to put a board on the middle of the floor, the kitchen floor, and he played and she danced. The set dances and all those kind of dances. Yeah.
And you said you did a lot of harmonies in the house.
Yeah, my sister would have done harmonies, yeah.
Yeah.
We done, a few of us would have sang harmonies.
You were good at entertaining yourselves.
That's what we done.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we done.
The tune, one of the tunes you remembered your sister dancing to was Daisy's. What was it?
The Garden of Daisies.
The Garden of Daisies. I've never heard that tune and I haven't looked it up yet, but I will. Another story you told me, Patricia, that I loved was about when your father and yourself will be out making the hay.
Oh, wow. I used to be up tramping.
Patricia would be tramping while her father would be forking it up.
And he'd be there.
And singing.
Singing away.
And the song you remembered with him teaching you was, it's not the season for it, but Christmas Eve in London.
Oh God, that's nervous.
Have you got it on you? Sorry. Oh, you want a drink of water?
Yeah, please. You hardly want me to sing again, do you?
Do you want her to sing again? I think that's a unanimous decision. Go on, lash it out there,
But any
dear.
songs I have are all old songs.
But they're the ones we love.
As old as myself. 'Twas Christmas Eve in London, and the snow lay on the ground. Through the window of a cottage I was passing came a sound. Someone played an old piano as the hand stole o'er the keys. I was taken back in fancy to my home across the seas. The singer was Irish, the song was Irish, each note seemed to come from the sky. That grand old refrain I heard once again, the words brought the tears to my eyes. Come back to Erin, my Varneen. Long I lingered at the door, for that grand old song made me long to be back in my home once again. Each note the singer uttered struck a chord within my breast, seemed to bring a loving message from the place that I love best. Just as one who hears glad tidings, I was filled with ecstasy, for I knew it was the old land softly calling unto me.
Oh,
The singer was Irish, the song was Irish, each note seemed to come from the sky. That grand old refrain I heard once again, the words brought the tears to my eyes. Come back to Erin, my Virgin. Long I lingered at the door, for the grand old song made me long to be back in my home once again.
Oh. You were telling me also that you remember the railway
Oh gosh, yeah.
bringing the marchers to Rosnowla.
Oh, that's right, on the 12th,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They used to come in, at that time we had the railway line, everybody remembers, I'm sure. It went as far as, it used to go on down as far as Killybegs, I think, the wee railway line through
I don't
Donegal.
remember.
Yeah, well.
No, I did go, I think it
Then
was.
they used to come on the 12th, came in on the railway line, and then they marched from the wee school down the road, and they walked from there to the Sandhouse. And at that time we used to be at school all through to the 12th. And we could go up a hill behind the school, and we all went up there and stood looking down there. We could see the Sandhouse and see the all marching around, yeah.
And the music.
And the bands.
Did you like the music?
Oh, the bands were lovely, yeah. Used to be yes, the bands were lovely.
Yeah. I remember, Patricia, I got caught in Belfast one 12th of July at the train station.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, I hadn't registered with me, it was the 12th of July. And I heard the music, and sure, I had to go out to it.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Lovely, yeah.
Brilliant. You know, if it wasn't for the old politics and all of these things. And you know, in Rosnowla, most of the land that the marches are done on is owned by Catholics.
Most of it,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
would be, would it? Must have been, yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
also told that there's a royal, ancient order of Hibernian lodges and orange lodges all around those places, and that they work together. They help, they cooperate together, lend each other musical instruments and drums and such.
Oh,
So yeah.
Yeah.
But you were telling me as well, I'll have to let you go soon because your wand's glaring at me. You know your wand.
Yeah.
She wants us to get home tonight. For I never know when to stop. 2, 3. Your father had a Protestant friend.
Oh, Rory. Yeah, Robertson. They just have they owned a shop and a cafe at one stage in Rosnowla.
Yes.
But Rory was a painter, but Daddy and him were very good friends. He would have often been up in our house. Yeah.
Your mother, what was it she used to say? Your mother would say, love.
Your neighbour as yourself,
Aye.
for the love of God.
I love that. Love your neighbour as yourself for the love of God.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
But there's one more wee song now before I let you go, because look at her. Not good. Your own choice now this time.
What do you say? I'm thinking tonight of the old rusted bridge that bends o'er the murmuring stream. 'Twas there, Maggie dear, with our hearts full of cheer, we strayed 'neath the moon's gentle beam. 'Twas there I first met you, the light in your eye awoke in my heart a sweet thrill. Though now far away, still my heart fondly strays to the old rusted bridge by the mill. Beneath it the stream gently ripples, around it the birds love to thrill. Though now far away, still my thoughts fondly stray to the old rusted bridge by the mill. I keep in my memory our love of the past. With me 'tis as bright as of old, for deep in my heart it was planted to last. In absence it never grows cold. I think of you, darling, when lonely at night, and when all is peaceful and still. My heart wanders back in a dream of delight to the old rusted bridge by the mill. Beneath it the stream gently ripples, around it the birds love to thrill. Though now far away, still my thoughts fondly stray to the old rusted bridge by the mill. That'll do, you know.
Was that not special? I should have had you at the... Did you be a grown up?
Oh God, I did surely.
Come here, I have so many other questions to ask you. We can give them a nod from the one down there, you know.
I never said that.
Well, I fucking knew it. Listen, while I'm going to get these scones, ready for Anne to stick into the oven, and then I will invite another buck up. The buck in the skirt. Now, you know, I was fortunate enough to meet another buck. Actually a brother of Tommy Sands, and Colin. And he wrote a song called Fresh Bread that I just love. And no matter how many times I sing it, I have to have the words in front of me because I can't get the order. You'll know now what I'm talking about. Every time I smell fresh bread, I see your hands again. Coaxing, shaping, rounding children from the fields of grain. Flowery fingers tend the fire in sunshine and in rain. Every time I smell fresh bread, I see your hands again. And it's for these hands we're singing. It's for these hands we're singing. For arms of love, not arms of war. It's for these hands we're singing. Every time I see fresh bread, I think of you again. Your work is slowly rising now in answer to the flame. It seems like every season turns in waiting's joyful pain. Every time I see fresh bread, I think of you again. And it's for these hands we're singing. It's for these hands we're singing. For arms of love, not arms of war. It's for these hands we're singing. Every time I taste fresh bread, I hear your voice again. The butter's melting on the knife, you call us each by name. A slice of life, a circle shared, that time can never claim. Every time I taste fresh bread, I hear your voice again. All together. And it's for these hands we're singing. It's for these hands we're singing. For arms of love, not arms of war. It's for these hands we're singing. Once more and raise the roof. It's for these hands we're singing. It's for these hands we're singing. For arms of love, not arms of war. It's for these hands we're singing. And that's what we want to do. You know, the smell of fresh bread is the aroma of peace. And that's what we want to fill our world with on the October the 24th, International Baked Bread for Peace Day. Now, do you think I could talk to this book while I'm working? I wouldn't want to be getting flour on a skirt. Sorry. But I'll tell you what. You better watch or I might put my hand on it. Brandon, come up and join me here. I'll keep you well away from the flour. Do you know, I heard or I read a quote about Brendan Rowan. The only predictable thing about Brendan is his unpredictability. Sit down there now. Now, will I get me notes about you boy, you? Brendan was in the Defence Force, Irish Army Defence Force. He was right through the Troubles. I want you to tell the first story. Now, this incident could have caused a major, what would you say, a major incident. The time, you were only 22, sorry, when you went, you went up to Enniskillen on a run on your way back, it was around Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, 19th of December, 74. Yeah.
And on your way back down, tell us what happened.
Well, I had another book with me in the car, and he was able to show me where I get the tyres from my car, and he had a bit of business. He was a detective.
Yes.
Irish detective. So I dropped him off at the RUC station, went on and got my tyres, and had to come back to pick him up later. And anyway, when I arrived, he was in a car with these two other books, and he said, he introduced me to them, and they actually brought me into the station and introduced me to a lot of people from Tipperary and Cork, instructors in the depot.
This was in Enniskillen?
In Enniskillen, yeah.
Go on.
And then we decided it was time to leave, and John said to me, he said, "Now let them two boys go." He said, "We don't want to be sitting on their tail going out that road." And so it was, Frank's station was in Canary, which is about 3 miles from the border, near Swanland Bar. So we're heading down the main road. And as we got to the cross where they should have turned off, there was two cars sitting at the phone box, and I could see these wee lights, like it was a December night, and it was like people lighting up cigarettes all at the same time. I thought until I rolled down the window and I heard the shooting, and I saw the two boys lying on the road, and John said, "Go on, drive on, drive on." And I said, "No, we can't. I mean, I was a scout, you know, and when the police need help, it's your duty to help them." And anyway, make a long story short, I went over to help them, and there was a lot of shooting, and they gave me a submachine gun. And
did they know you were Irish Army?
Oh yeah, because I'd met them, you see, at the station.
And like Brendan, was that not legal's the wrong word? Huh?
I wasn't even in my own jurisdiction, Breezy.
I know, but that they would hand you a gun.
Yeah. I think you know in the moment what they could, you know from the sound of a person's voice.
Yes.
You really do.
That
Forget the
too.
words, you know.
There is that too. And later, they discovered that there was a car.
Well, there was several incidents, but anyway, the UDR arrived, and I said, "Frank, I'm going home." No, he said, "You have to take charge." I said, "I can't take charge. I'm not even in my own country here." And he said, "No, you're the only one trained for this. They have no officer with them, and this UDR Sergeant Major." Didn't I meet him Saturday in Rosnola?
You're joking. Oh, you went to Rosnola.
Yeah.
You made some sort of a declaration, didn't you?
Well, just by wearing this, I did, of course. 'Cause this is, most people think, like, do you play music or what part of Scotland are you from? But this is the traditional Irish saffron kilt. It predates the Scottish kilt by 500 years. It's suppressed under the penal laws. And when I tell that to the people at Rasnala, they're fine with that. And they wonder why I'm here. And I say, I am here out of respect for the orange part of our beautiful flag of union of the two traditions.
Love that.
And they're happy with that, you know.
Yeah.
But the shooting anyway died down a little bit. Oh, well, first of all, it had died down at that stage, and then Frank said, the Sergeant Major came up and he said, what do you want me to do? And I said, set up a fire base here, extended line there, we'll search. And that's when we found the wire on the field. So where the Bucks had been shooting at us from, there was a lot of empty ammunition cases and a 12-volt battery, and the wire to the car that we were lying beside had a 1,000-pound bomb in it. Wow. But the real funny part was, 2 weeks later, Frank, who's been my friend ever since, showed me a photograph of this bastard, he said, is my public enemy number one. He's the boy who would have planned and commanded that ambush. And he said, oh, that's my cousin Eddie.
You would not believe the lineage this man has. Your great-grandfather, Michael, he was
He was a Crown Sergeant in the Dublin Metropolitan Police during the War of Independence, yeah.
And, well, your aunt thought that he was killed while defending the barracks against the IRA.
No, my dad told me that, but there's no account of it. I think my dad made it up. My dad was a Republican, you see. And
But your father, he was in the... Or not the,
yeah,
the RAF, was
that,
it?
that's the thing. Even though he was Republican, and the boy in charge of the IRA group, his father as well, both of them served in the RAF during World War II.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And every Remembrance Day, you know, like a soldier, a fireman, police, they wear their medals on this side. But if you wear medals on this side, you're wearing your medals for your loved one. So I wear medals for my great-grandfather, his brother who was in the British Army, his other brother who was in the Royal Navy, and the other brother who was in the IRA.
Yeah. Brendan has always been a kind of a controversial character.
No.
Why would I ever think that? You know, he owned a hostel down in Dunfanaghy for a number of, how many years were you in it?
27.
27 years. And any time he had British visitors, he hoisted the Union flag, as he did if he had German visitors, he'd hoist the... Well, the locals went berserk, didn't they?
Well, you see, it started with, I had a hen party from the Shankill Road. Oh, Jesus, these women were great. They were salt of the earth. But they'd never been in the Republic before.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they were like fish out of water. And I wasn't there when they arrived. They were from 1777, all one family. And they hired the whole mill house, 11 rooms and 2 apartments. They only occupied half of it, but they paid for the whole lot. They wanted it private for the weekend. And anyway, when I arrived and went out, there was these 2 77-year-old chain smokers out on the porch. And of course, I had the tricolour flying, didn't I? And I said to the ladies, I suppose when you booked on Fanny, you didn't expect to find an Irish tricolour flying here.
Yeah.
No, we did not. And I said, do you realise that the orange in our flag represents your tradition? Yeah, I've heard that. But my dad would never say that. He would say green, white and gold, which is wrong, you see. But anyway, I said, we prefer we had a Union flag flying there. She said, you mean a Union Jack? I said, no, it's not a Union Jack. What's flying? A Jack staff in a battleship. Otherwise, it's a Union flag. I didn't know. Did you know that, Mabel? She said. And she said, but you couldn't fly that here. I said, what are you talking about? This is a republic. I can fly any friggin' flag I like. Do you know what we'll do? We'll put the 2 flags up together on the same flagpole. Oh, you couldn't do that, she said. They'll burn you out. The point being, you could have one or the other, but you couldn't have both on the same flagpole. So why not? So I did, yes, for years, and 60% of my guests were from the UK. And why would I not fly their flag?
You were, yeah, exactly.
I was in the hospitality business.
Yeah, yeah. But you made some sort of a dedication. The flag wasn't just to welcome your British visitors, but also as a symbol. What was that? It was a symbol of something, peace.
I haven't a clue what you're talking about.
You wrote it.
Did I?
Yes, I googled you. Yes.
But listen, I have
Imagine.
to, you know what? Somebody actually, Claire McKeown, on her television show back in the 90s, she asked, I can't remember how it came up, but I said I can't sing, dance, or
play music.
But this is an Irish tradition that has been long forgotten, so I'll do that. But one of my best friends died in a car accident in Kerry yesterday. You probably heard about it in the news, Trailer Sweeney. But the reason I'm playing this drum, this was a gift from Roy Arbuckle.
Do you know of our Roy Arbuckle?
And Roy should be here tonight, so
Yeah, he
I'm
wasn't
playing
here,
this
no.
as best I can for Roy.
Should we give a shot to something?
Sorry?
Can you go good there?
Oh, Jesus, I don't know. Can I?
No, leave it.
No. It sounds more like a lambeg, doesn't it? And you know what? There
It's
was
your different drums of Ireland,
but
Roy.
that's what it was. Roy took a huge risk. I think it would have been in the early 90s, and he put on this thing called Different Drums of Ireland in Buncrana. Dark stage, and then you could hear the Bowron playing.
Incredible
The spotlight
show.
came up on a tricolour, and then it died. And then you hear the lambeg playing, and the spotlight came up on the Union flag. And then it alternated back and forth and back and forth. And then the whole stage was alive with kids who previously had never seen each other's drums, and here they were all playing on the stage together. And there's an old saying that when the lambeg and Bowron play together, we'll finally have peace in Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
So,
incredible
and that
man,
was 2
Roy.
years before Riverdance was heard of.
Roy and Different Drums of Ireland, they travelled the world bringing a message of peace. They even played in the White House. Do you know who they played with? Gregory Peck. Boy, if I had got my hands on Nunbuck. Gregory Peck.
Dunbuck landed on a lawn during the Troubles in a helicopter, walked up to my friend Colin Peck and said, "Hi, I'm your American cousin." At Prehen House. Yeah.
Good Lord. But anyway, I found the quote, Brendan.
Oh.
You hoisted the Union flag to welcome your British guests and as a symbol of the new maturity
That's
of
right.
our nation.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. Now, before I let you go, because I know we're running over time with the first half here, and it's not Brendan that's hard to get rid of, it's me, or not hard to shut up, it's me. Brendan, in what year was it? The start of the World War II.
Yes.
The plane on its way from Newfoundland.
yeah.
Funny, your buck there
Yeah.
that helped with the reading John.
No,
He's from Newfoundland.
John was one of the early volunteers I had as a kid, working for free, just their accommodation and food.
And he's still
at
coming
Kirkcraig
back.
when I had the hostel back in 95 was it, John?
95 was the
Yeah,
first
and
year.
John comes every year, and he brought his other friend again this year. The two of them, John's a barrister in Newfoundland, and the other book is he's flying for captain for Air Canada.
And you know the other thing, John, I hope you don't mind me saying this, he comes from a mixed family. Was it your father was Protestant
My dad's Protestant, my mom's Catholic.
and they got on? God bless them.
But Brady's talking.
The
about this.
RAF,
Yeah. So
With him.
at the beginning of the war, when the Americans didn't want to get involved, and Britain was about to be invaded, but they needed planes, and the Americans flew them up the Canadian border, took the wings off, pulled across with horses. Wings were put back on, flown up to Newfoundland, and then a secret organisation called Ferry Command flew the planes across. So these were military, ex-military, airline pilots, crop dusters, anyone who could fly or crew a plane. And it was all secret. And they flew the planes from Gander in Newfoundland to Prestwick in Scotland. Now when I say they flew the planes, the distance was 2,115 miles. The fuel range of the plane was 1,700. So with a good tailwind, they made it. If the wind died, they died. And 500 of them died at sea. But this particular guy ran out of fuel just coming near Dunfanny, Hornhead, and he did a circuit around Muckish, Creasla and back, and made a classic emergency landing without fuel on the beach. But that wasn't the story that
No, but
we had in the community, but
the community at the time, that was in the early 40s.
1942, yeah.
1942.
16th June, yeah.
The community, the whole community got together and they got those bucks back in the air to finish their flight. And Brendan decided that not only should the airmen be remembered, but the community should be remembered and honoured. So he had an idea to have a memorial. It's a beautiful memorial made up of the Children of Lair's story. But when he went looking for funding, you take it from there, for
Yeah.
the memorial.
Well, you see, funding was coming into the village through a particular group, a couple of people, well, one person in particular. And when I told her what I wanted to do, she said, "That's fantastic. How much will it cost?" And I said, "About £6,000. I think it was pounds at the time. Euros, maybe. Anyway, she said, "Well, I can promise you 5 immediately, and don't worry, we'll find the other 1,000. Bring me in the plans and make sure you have planning permission and show me what's going to go on it and the sculptural piece and what's going to be on the plaque." But when I brought her in, what was going to be on the plaque, and she saw the flags of the 4 crewmen, which were American, Canadian, British and Irish, she said, no, you can't have the British and Irish flags together on this plaque. I said, why not? And she said, well, it's not politically correct. And anyway, if you do something like that, no politicians will come. And I insisted. I said, listen, I've given a project to the kids to find the old people in the village who saw the plane on the beach in 1942. I'm not going to tell the kids or leave out part of the truth. So she said, if you do that, forget the funding. And no politicians will come. And that's exactly what happened. I had 1 week to go, and I had the daughter of one of the crew from Canada come to unveil the monument. And I went around the village, and people of every hue, Protestant, Catholic, Republican, Nationalist, Unionist, they gave me checks, they gave me cash, they gave me materials, they gave me people to do the work, and within a week we had it done. And when I thought we might have 100 people, 1,000 people turned up. 5 TV channels, the British, American and Canadian military attaches, and my cousin, when I went out to put up the flag at Corcragan that morning, there was 2 boys standing there waiting for me. British military attache in his full RAF uniform and medals, my cousin Eddie, the IRA man, standing beside him with his uncle's slouch hat and his father's RAF cap badge, and the 2 of them saluted as I put up the flag.
Who was the artist that did that sculpture?
Oh, Harry, can't remember his name now. It's in the book.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the book is out of print. I had a copy and I actually read it twice, you know, Brendan.
Yeah.
I wish I'd
It
had
made a
it.
burning impression on you. I bet.
It did make a burning impression on me. It went up in the fire. Now, Brendan, I'm going to have to, I suppose.
Am I dismissed?
Well, is there any wee last thing you would like to add to the whole evening about celebrating each other's
Am I supposed to
differences?
remember a script or something?
No. He's bold.
What would you like me to say? Talk about?
Something positive. Well, everything you said is positive.
Right.
But encouragement.
Okay.
You know, because you,
Let me put it like this.
it's no wonder you're controversial because you have broken boundaries with your firing and your flags and, you know, and it's all, I think it's all good.
On the 7th of September 18, I was diagnosed with inoperable cancer, and that was my ticket to freedom. And it opened up opportunities like I've never had. But anyway,
The
few-
Remembrance Sunday thing at Ards, that's a wonderful
oh yeah, well,
storytelling.
I've been asked a couple of times. I used to read out the names of the people who died in the locality in the Protestant church, but of course it was never done in the Catholic church, even though most of the people's names were Catholic, but they always read it out in the church of Ireland.
Really?
Yeah.
And would they read out the Catholic names?
All the names. I did. I read it. I mean, I read the names, of course, and I researched it. It's in the Roll of Honour. But last year and the year before I went down to Ards and I asked them if they would read the names, and they did. And the number of people that came and said their great uncle and their great father, and it's lovely to see them remembered. But last year they asked me to read the 11 names, and I did in Creasla. And I think that's the way. Of those 11 names of the people in Creasla, one of them by his name could be Protestant. All the rest were Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
They're not remembered.
And for years their names have been read out. And
Yeah. Why is that? But with my diagnosis, I remember I went down to a friend of mine. He's actually the leader of a Druid group down in the Grove of Anu outside Killarney, and we celebrated Samhain together on the Saturday.
Yes.
And I said, tomorrow, because I've been allowed back to receive communion after a ban of 35 years,
told you
I'd
it was
like to,
controversial.
I'd like to go to Mass somewhere. What
Yeah.
about the wee church? Ah, no, he said, I'll bring you to a better place. So he brought me to Cooley, and I couldn't believe it. I've never seen it where the choir, the priest, and the community are all on an equal footing. There's no hierarchy. It was just beautiful to see that done. And then he brought me to St. Goblet's Church, and there's a ruined church with a shield in the gig. Do you know what a shield in the gig is?
Yes, there's
So
one
it's
there.
usually this. Yeah, exactly. So for those who don't know, it's usually a carving in stone of a woman crouched down, and her vagina is hugely enlarged. And people thought it was about fertility or sexuality or something like that. But this man said to me, he said, if you stand in there in the window and put your fingers into the vagina, it could be a cure for your cancer. But you know what came to me was?
What?
The one thing that unites us all, regardless of sex, creed, class, colour, or anything else, we all came from the womb.
Won't you join our lives will be better soon, you'll see, if you'll break some bread with me. Will you break some bread with me? Won't you join our company? Our lives will be better soon, you'll see, if you break some bread.